Hello guys, and welcome to my channel once again. My name is Joshua Benjamin Ali, CEO of JBA Consults, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about mastering the sales mindset. So it's a blueprint basically for success. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So basically, this presentation is just to talk about the fact that sales is more than just techniques. So it's about cultivating the right mindset in order for you to become successful in sales. So today we will explore the key components of successful sales mindset and how to cultivate it for optimal results. So understanding the sales mindset. So what is the sales mindset, or what is a sales mindset? It's a combination of attitudes, beliefs, and perspectives that drive a salesperson's behavior and approach. So it's the foundation upon which effective selling is built. Now, these are some of the key components, so we'll go over them one by one. And we're starting first and foremost with resilience. So the ability to bounce back from rejection and setbacks, understanding that failure is part of the sales process, and then seeing challenges as opportunities for growth. Yes, you will face a lot of difficult situations. You will face a lot of rejection. You will face a lot of setbacks. And all these are part of the sales process. It's your duty to become, if you want to be successful in sales, then you need to be able to build some resilience to this. So build a resilience that will enable you to bounce back from rejection and setbacks. So if a customer is giving you or presenting a rejection, you should not let that influence the rest of your day, for example. You need to understand that failure is part of the process. There are a lot of people who find it difficult to proceed once they have a little bit of a setback or a little bit of a failure in the sales process. Then they start to lose interest. If that is the case, then you would not be successful in sales because rejection is part of the process. And there will be very difficult challenges that you will need to find a way to be able to go around them. And if you have the ability to be able to do so, it would help you a lot because then you'll be able to face those challenges and see them as an opportunity for you to grow so that in the future, if you do experience something like that, you will know how to be able to go about resolving those kind of issues or those kind of challenges. And then we'll move on to the next, which is confidence. So you need to build confidence in yourself and in the product or the service that you sell. It's very, very important. You need to be confident in the product or the service that you're selling and also be confident in yourself because if you're speaking to a customer, the customer can sense over the phone, for example, if it's phone sales, they can sense over the phone if you're confident or not. And if you're not, then that person loses the confidence in you as the person actually selling them this product or service. So it's very important to be confident in yourself. You have to be confident also in handling objections and negotiations. There are instances where I've had people who reached a point where the sale was done. So, for example, the customer comes in and tells you, oh, I want to work with you, this and this and that. And so let's proceed. What are the next steps? And then they lose confidence in themselves a little bit. And then they start to fumble because they've not experienced something like that in the sense that the customer comes and it's like straightforward, let's make a deal. So you need to be very confident in yourself again, and then also confidence in handling objections and negotiations. That way, the customer does not actually sense that you're nervous or something like that over the phone. It's very important. And positive self-talk and visualization techniques. Always be positive to yourself, talk positive things to yourself, and visualize the techniques that you're using to be able to communicate with customers. So if it makes sense to you, it makes sense to the customer. If it doesn't make sense to you, it doesn't make sense to the customer. So it's very important. Confidence. So we've gone over resilience, and then we've gone over confidence. Now we're moving on to empathy. Empathy is something that is very, very, very important when it comes to sales. So understanding the customer's needs, desires, and pain points is the first thing, is very, very important. Now, understanding the customer's needs, desires, and pain points is not just from listening to the customer, but it's from actively listening to the customer. There's a little bit of a difference there. Active listening also includes questions. So where you're listening to the customer, you're asking insightful questions based on the information that they're giving you. And that way you have a clear and better understanding of what their needs are, what their desires are, and what are the pain points they want to handle. And that way it gives you the opportunity to be able to prioritize the conversation based on what it is they need. If there are other things that you want to add on, then that happens after you've addressed those pain points. So it's very important to understand the customer's needs, desires, and pain points. Then we move on to building rapport and trust through active listening and genuine concern. So that is what I was referring to earlier on, active listening here as well. So that also happens during the rapport process, that is trying to connect with the customer, trying to understand what it is, trying to be able to show that this is a concern that needs to be addressed, and showing genuine interest in that concern. Putting yourself in the customer's shoes to provide tailored solutions. So if you're speaking to somebody in the IT industry, or you're speaking to somebody in, for example, the health industry, those are two different industries. So you need to make sure that you're in the customer's shoe, providing tailored solutions for the particular issue they have based on the industry they're in. So it's very important to show empathy. So we've gone over resilience, confidence, and then empathy. Now we move on to persistence. So the tenacity in pursuing leads and closing deals. You need to be very persistent when it comes to pursuing leads and closing deals. Consistent follow-up and follow-through. So you've spoken to somebody and they're supposed to get back to you, follow up with them, and follow through. Reframing rejection as a step closer to success. So in my over 10 years of sales, working in sales, whenever I have a rejection, I see it as I'm getting closer to closing the deal, because that tells me that the customer is listening, the customer is in on the conversation, and it's not just me talking. Why? Because I have the customer also in the conversation by asking questions as I move on in the conversation. So having a rejection means that the person is listening to you, and understanding that rejection and how to overcome that rejection would basically end up leading you into closing that deal. So see it as reframing rejection. So reframe the term rejection as a step closer to success. And then we move to understanding the sales mindset. So if you want to be able to have that mindset, first and foremost, you need to have continuous learning. It's very, very important. Now, stay updated on industry trends, product knowledge, and sales techniques. So you need to always make sure you're updated on whatever trends or whatever is going on based on the industry that you're in, and what kind of techniques, product knowledge, sales techniques that are used in your industry. Seek feedback and learn from both successes and failures. So there is something, a lot of companies are now doing this, where whenever they have a conversation with a customer, they always send some kind of a feedback request, so that the customer would be able to leave a feedback as to how the interaction was. And that way it helps you to be able to actually better yourself on the next conversation you might have with another customer. So it's something that is very important and is good to look into. Invest in personal and professional development. So a lot of companies also doing this, where they would basically hold some kind of a seminar for their team so that they would also be able to learn from basically, or learn how to be able to develop themselves in the industry, personally and professionally, because in as much as this is sales and we're talking about in a professional setting, these traits that we've talked about earlier on, they also are beneficial in our personal lives. So it's very important to also invest in these things for development. And then we move on to goal setting. This is something that a lot of people tend to neglect, but it's very, very important. So set clear and achievable sales goals. What goal do you want to have for this month, for example? Let's say, for example, your goal is to close, let's say, 5 deals this month. Okay, that's a good goal to have when it comes to sales, especially depending on the type of sale that you're dealing with. If it's something in an industry where you have to close or hire, for example, in our case, for example, closing deals with companies, closing deals with about 5 companies is pretty good for a month. Now that you have the goal, how do you proceed? So now you need to break down those goals into smaller milestones for motivation. So don't plan on closing 5 deals in, for example, a day. If you want to close 5 deals in a month, then you will break them down. For example, in the first week, we'll close this number of deals. Second week, I'll close this number. The third week, this, and then the last, that. So breaking them down into smaller milestones gives you the opportunity to actually be able to focus more on those deals and close them without having to end up putting all of them together in a way that it becomes difficult for you to be able to achieve them because there's too much going on and it becomes hectic for you. So it's very important to break them down into smaller milestones, and they end up motivating you to be able to close them. Now, regularly review and adjust your goals as needed. For example, if you're able to close those 5 deals in 2 weeks' time, so what next? Are you going to say that, okay, so my goal for the month was to close 5 deals and I already closed them, so I'm going on a holiday? No. So what you want to do is you need to adjust those goals as needed. So that is something that is very, very important to take a look into if you want to have that sales mindset. Now, positive environment, which is also something very important. Surround yourself with supportive colleagues and mentors. Limit exposure to negativity and toxic influences. So if you find yourself in a position where instead of actually spending time speaking to customers or going on the phone to close deals and try to meet your targets, you end up sitting down or spending more time in the coffee room, just having conversations and gossiping about office people and stuff like that. That is all negativity and toxic influences that could actually put you down. So those are things that you need to look into. Cultivate a growth-oriented mindset within your team. So if you're a team leader or you're a manager, you want to make sure that the team that you're working with have a growth-oriented mindset. So if they are succeeding, you are also succeeding. So it's something very important to look into as well. Now, we already talked about this. Believing in yourself and in the product, confidence in handling objections and negotiations, positive self-talk and visualization techniques. And now we move on to mindfulness and stress management. So practice mindfulness techniques to stay present and focused. Manage stress through relaxation techniques, exercise, and hobbies, and then maintain a healthy work-life balance. It's very important. If you do not have a healthy work-life balance, you would find yourself in a position where things might not go as you would want them to, because the home life would always influence your work life. So trying to be able to maintain that uh, balance would basically give you the opportunity to be able to grow in your career, and then also give you the opportunity to be able to also grow in your personal life and know how to be able to handle issues as they come up. Accountability. Hold yourself accountable for your actions and results. So do not expect that, stop trying to take uh, credit for somebody's uh, accomplishments. Focus on you. Set up accountability systems within your team, and then celebrate successes, and learn from failures together. So your failure is my failure. Your success is our success. And that way, by celebrating it and then learning from those failures, we all become better. So in conclusion, sales mindset is the foundation of sales, or the foundation of success in sales. So by cultivating resilience, confidence, empathy, and persistence, sales professionals such as yourselves can achieve your goals and exceed expectations. So remember, mastering the sales mindset is an ongoing journey of self-improvement and growth. It's not something that happens in a day and ends there. You're constantly improving yourself and constantly growing in the field. And that way you become better and better, because at the end of the day, we always have a changing environment constantly. So for example, before, sales was mostly face-to-face, and then COVID happened, and then everything became more online based. So as the environments are changing, you also need to evolve and grow accordingly. If not, you'll find yourself in a situation where you will not become successful by having that successful sales mindset. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you like the video, hit the like button. Consider subscribing for more content in the future. And I believe you can go onto our website, which is jba-consults.com, where you'll be able to get all this information on the website under the blog section. If you do want to have this file, we're planning on actually uploading these presentations there so that you guys will be able to download them and actually be able to use them. So that's going to be it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.